Hi, Billy.
Hey Lola, how are you?
I'm good.
So yesterday I called Lola and I was like, I saw something. It's been kind of floating around the internet, and I think it'd be a fun conversation for us to have, and might
Mhm,
spark into something bigger. So what I'm talking about is
mhm.
big YouTuber streamer Hassan Piker was on a recent podcast of I had it podcast with Jennifer Welch, and they were talking about a lot of different political topics. But Jennifer brought up Gavin Newsom running for being one of the top candidates to run for
Right.
president in 2028, and she was talking to Hassan and somebody else, and said, would you vote for him if he was the candidate, and
Okay.
if it was between like him and JD Vance.
Right.
And she said that to her that's a no-brainer. To the other guest it was a no-brainer,
Right.
and Hassan Piker said no, I would vote for the third party.
Oh, wow.
So I've had some friends that have also told me this.
Yes.
So I thought this was a good time for us to talk about
Okay.
the outrage that Hassan Piker has gotten for it.
Yeah.
And and
Okay,
and
so he's gotten backlash for not being supportive of Newsom
yes, because
on his channel. Okay.
he's very progressive,
Okay.
and a lot of the more central kind
Yeah.
of like Democrats are feeling like he's not supporting the more of a centralized candidate.
Okay.
And let's be clear, most of the central, like the people that are in the middle in the
Hmm.
Democratic Party, they feel like Gavin Newsom's extreme. They feel like he's a little bit extreme.
Okay.
They don't have any idea what the progressives
Okay.
really feel about Gavin
Right.
Newsom.
Right.
So it really is kind of an identity crisis, I think,
Okay.
that the
The
Democrats are
Democratic
having.
Party definitely has an identity crisis,
Definitely.
along with the fact that they don't have a spine.
So when I saw this, I also would never vote for a third party candidate if it comes down
Okay.
to a binary choice. Like,
Yeah, I have been known to vote for third party candidates. I was until Obama, I was really identified as an independent, personally, myself and my father. So, yeah, I think the Trump era has definitely pushed me more to the leftist side.
yeah. Well, and I just don't think a third party candidate has a chance of winning.
Right.
But here's where I like where the conversation goes, and here's where I appreciate Hassan Piker,
Okay.
because I feel like he's starting a conversation early before we've even gotten to primaries.
It's very early.
Yeah,
We talked about that yesterday. It's pretty early to be having these conversations, but these names keep coming up.
they absolutely do. But if 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 there isn't support behind Gavin Newsom
Right.
now,
Right.
then let's try to figure that out,
Okay.
and let's see who is it going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
that's the right that's what I like about what Hassan's doing. I think Jennifer Welch said this, and I kind of agree with her. She said it's probably one of the most important conversations that we need to be having right now,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
whoever precedes Donald Trump, whether that's JD Vance, some Republican asshole, or somebody on the Democratic side, which I don't think that Gavin Newsom is. I think that he's still good for the country and for
Mhm.
my politics, but I understand that we're going towards a more progressive state. I mean, look at what happened with
Well, it's
Mondami.
going to be an overcorrection. We're
Yeah,
going to go from the Trump tyranny to a completely overcorrected leftist movement,
yes.
progressive movement for sure. I already see that. Just because you brought up JD Vance, I saw a meme yesterday. This
I can
I
only imagine.
saw a couple memes, but if you were to vote tomorrow for president, and it was Kamala versus JD or AOC versus JD, which would you vote for?
Oh, I mean, I without a doubt am going with AOC.
Okay, but I don't see a female candidate having, and I hate to say that because I am 100% feminist. I am on board with a woman president, but I don't see that overcorrection taking root in a female candidate.
I agree. And I think, we have to look at what has historically happened, like recent history.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to break that glass ceiling. I want a woman to be president.
But
But
I think
right
she needs to
now,
be vice president first.
well, we did have a vice president that was a woman
Well,
first.
yeah, but that was bumbled. That whole Biden stepping out late, not
Agreed.
having a primary,
Agreed. And
that hurt them more than I think they're willing.
we're going to talk about, so in a couple minutes we're going to get into some of the names that are being floated and what we think. And I want to put a pin in this because there's something really interesting that I was thinking about with Kamala that I think would be fun as part of that conversation. But when it comes to just kind of keeping it on like the Hassan and Gavin Newsom, so Hassan Piker is super progressive and he's Gen Z.
Yes.
So we are not Gen Z. We know that. But what does this say? Because the Gen Z vote is really important.
Yes.
So what does this say? Not that I'm ever going to say that Hassan Piker is speaking for Gen Z, but he is a Gen Z voice.
Okay.
So what does that say? Because I do feel like a lot of the Gen Zers are not on board. They're not on board with a very old candidate,
right?
Unless it's Bernie Sanders. He seems to spark interest no matter who it is. But they don't want somebody old, and they're not on board with, I don't want to just make it about Gavin Newsom necessarily. It's more of these institutionalized Democrats, like Hillary Clinton and Gavin Newsom. Like they all kind of are, they take a lot of corporate money, and I think that's icky to a lot of the Gen Zers.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think that lobbying, and Citizens United, all of that stuff has to go away in the next blue wave. But I agree that the younger voters are turning away from a lot of that institutionalized politician idea. And AOC is young, and she's definitely progressive, and she definitely has a lot of support and popularity. But I don't know. I you brought up Newsom, and we were talking earlier, and I get a weird feeling. I mean, I've been a big fan of Newsom and his social media campaign. I've been a big fan of the fact that he's been the only one that has stood up to the ridiculousness that is the Trump regime.
Yeah.
And he's fighting fire with fire in that he's, calling him nicknames, and he's degrading him and humiliating him on social media. And more power to you, Newsom. But I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I don't believe that there is a firm policy philosophy that he'll follow that will benefit the people. I just get this feeling that he's in it to win it, and he's saying whatever he needs to say right now to be that candidate. That's just my personal feelings, and it's very early on. So I also need to disclose that in the previous primary against Trump, I voted for Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
Now, I know that Buttigieg is not going to be president any faster than
but he's on our list.
Okay. So, yeah. So those are my personal opinions. But we do have to cover the whole gambit. So
I do, just to kind of close out the conversation about
Hassan.
Yeah, Hassan, and just kind of like the progressive side of where we're going with the Democratic Party. I do think that we're seeing a lot of Republicans are losing these small elections that are happening around the country.
Absolutely.
And I know that that's a backlash to Trump. I get that.
Yeah. Trump's endorsement now is the kiss of death.
Yeah. But I do think that, I don't think that it's all that. And I don't think any candidate that just runs on that is running a smart campaign.
No.
I don't think that the whole country could be as progressive as Mondami.
Right.
But he won so overwhelmingly that I think that we need to be looking at the things that they're saying
Always.
yeah, because the progressive movement has some real like meat and bones to what they're saying that
Yes.
people are responding to.
Yes.
And I think it's a mistake for Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to be not even taking somebody like Mamdani serious.
Right, because they're so mired in the institution
Mhm.
and the policy of getting whatever they want buried in with everything else that, they know how to flip the levers and to work the system,
Yeah.
but that system is broken.
Well, yes, you're right. It's broken, but they are still doing the levers the
Yeah.
same. I mean, Chuck Schumer, he got bills passed
Yes.
in such an underhanded way. He knows how to whip the votes.
Yes.
He's a good minority leader,
Yes.
but he didn't do it for the right reasons.
Right.
He did it because he thought that the Republicans are going to come to their they have some common sense.
Right.
And that's just a fool's errand. Like, I
Right.
don't know why he thinks that that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
But I would love to get into, I think, the fun part of our conversation.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the top candidates, okay?
So we want to get into the list that we came up with
Yes.
of the top contenders for presidential candidate for 2028.
And we just want to be clear that, one, we're definitely not endorsing any of these people. Not that we have any kind of like pull.
Influence.
Yeah, but we're
the 400 of you that might watch this.
But and also we know that this isn't some complete list. We're not political strategists or anything, so it's not like we have any kind of insight. Where this is literally what we hear and see on some social media outlets, and kind of a list of who we think we're going with. Because one of the names on the list didn't make a list that I Googled, but I added them because it was somebody that you brought up. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into it.
All right.
So the first person is Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
And we had talked about her a minute ago.
Yeah.
And I asked you to put a pin in it because with Kamala, I was not on board with her running. I was very like, why would she run again? She ran one time, like legitimately ran for president and did not have a very successful campaign.
Right.
Then she was forced down our throat, and I don't blame her for that. That was a lot of mishandling of things. She didn't have the right candidacy the second time around. So for that reason, I do want to see her in the primaries.
I think that she's probably got the strongest backing of the Democratic institution.
Maybe.
For
you might be right.
For the ones who like the DNC, for the ones who want to stay in the safety zone, they're going to try to push Kamala Harris. Now, we know that she's got baggage. We know that she's already basically lost twice, is what we're saying. Like, she lost in a primary, and then she didn't get primaried, and she lost against Trump. So,
I do, but I was impressed with her campaign, like her second campaign. Her first campaign, I was very unimpressed with her. She didn't have the name recognition the first time around.
Yeah,
I didn't really know who she was, and she was lackluster. Like she wasn't very excited. So, but the second time around, I was afraid of the first one, and then like the second day, donors were coming out of the woodwork. They were organizing all these like Zoom calls with all. So, I mean, her being a Black woman, her being tenacious, like ever since she stepped down from vice president, like her giving the side eye to Trump at the funeral, things like that. Like, okay, now if she leaned into that a little bit, I think if she got a little bit more ferocious, I know she has it in her. I would love to see that side of her. I think that could really help her because her stance on Palestine and Israel is not great, and she didn't have good answers for that. And her corporate, all the stuff you said about her having the corporate backing is probably going to work against her in the progressive circles.
Yeah, for sure. But then we have your favorite.
Oh yeah, my favorite, Gavin Newsom.
Which has for you personally been something that a bit of a trip for you.
It has been.
It wasn't immediate.
No, I knew that Gavin had some baggage. The baggage that I knew about Gavin at the very beginning was that somehow he had like stole his like a girlfriend from a best friend. And I just remember thinking in my head, like, we have Trump grabbing women in the private parts, and we have a candidate that stole the girlfriend from his boyfriend, from his friend. I don't. They're just not. I will take that
False
any day.
equivalency,
Yeah, not at all. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think this goes for Kamala. I think this goes for most of the people on the list, but mostly for Gavin. He's a good-looking guy.
Oh, he is Rico Suave as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He's good looking. He speaks well. He's literate. He is quick witted. He has all the shiny new toy feel, like the Ferrari feel.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
I would encourage everybody. The Daily Show. I think it was more recent. They did a little bio on him, and it was pretty funny. It outlined when he when he was before he was governor, he was lieutenant governor.
Okay.
And had run for small. Actually, I don't think he ran for anything small before lieutenant governor.
Okay.
But he came from money. He owned a winery. His dad gifted him a winery. So he has some interesting background that is very elitist. That you're kind of like, okay, yeah, but
and that might work in his favor.
Maybe.
Or a more general, like, the people that are really still supporting Trump are the ones that have money.
Yeah.
And the ones that have money want to keep their money. And so a Gavin Newsom with money might be, that might also work for a later candidate.
So now we're back. Now we're to the next person on our list, who is, I mean, definitely one of my favorites. But you voted for him in the primaries.
Yes, I actually signed up as a Democrat just to vote for him.
That's awesome.
In the primary,
I voted for him, but I had to. I mean, he's the gay candidate. I had to support my gay.
Which is a really, really important factor. Unfortunately, in this day and age, Buttigieg is not going to be a presidential candidate. Fantastic VP choice, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because he is smart. He is an incredible communicator. He has a military background. He's been the U.S. Transportation Secretary. He has so much experience that I think he would be, on paper alone, the best candidate.
100%.
100%. But because there are so many people out there that are against LGBTQ, they will not
I would
accept him.
say that he also is as straight of a gay man that you could possibly find.
Which is, but I mean, that is it. He's charming and he's very open and he's very.
I agree, and I love Buttigieg, but I'm looking at it more from a standpoint that he's not very out.
No, well,
like he's not flamboyant in any way. He's not like I think he appeals.
Excited.
I think he appeals to a more independent, moderate kind of
100%.
voter. And they don't realize, kind of like James Tallarico, and I know he's not on our list, James Tallarico.
No.
He will be one of these days. He's not ready yet.
He's the Senate candidate in Texas.
Yeah, but somebody like that kind of like presents one way, and then smacks you in the head and realizes that there's more to him.
Right.
And I think there's
so many.
That's a lot of Buttigieg. Yeah.
There's so many layers. So we're gonna see a lot of Pete Buttigieg in the future, but not as a presidential candidate. That's my prediction.
So the next person is J.B. Pritchard.
I want to hear all you know about J.B. Pritchard.
I don't know a whole lot about J.B. Well, he's
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yep.
A lot of money.
Yep.
Marriott family.
Yep. And he is the one
that's pretty much all I know.
Right. He's the one who
he does have a fight.
Last year, he knows how to fight. He stood up for the Democratic Congress people that decided to leave during the gerrymandering.
So James Tallarico.
Okay.
Yeah, for Texas. Yeah.
The gerrymandering mapping issue in Texas, and he invited them all to Chicago, and
said that he had hotel rooms for all of them because
put them
he did.
in hotel rooms and stood up in the media, and so he's got some bite behind him.
Well, and also he took on the fight of ICE.
Yes.
And I think he did a great job with it.
Yes.
His give a fuck meter is like he does nothing registers with him,
Right.
and I do love that about him. And he also has like fuck around money.
Right.
Like he has the kind of money that it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like he's gonna run. He doesn't care who donates to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care because he can fund it himself. And he almost gives me the impression that he has the fight to want to do that. So he's gonna get donors.
Okay.
He knows all the right people. He's gonna
He
get the
knows the right
support.
people.
But whatever, he's gonna. It is interesting to have somebody, and we don't have on the list is that gives me a Mark Cuban kind of feel. So the next people on our list. So the next person is we have a few more people that we'll talk about. Gretchen Whitmer.
Okay.
So she's interesting because she's the governor of
Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's the governor of Michigan, which is they're a swing state, I believe.
Okay.
And she was strong. She did have some. She's probably one of the top female candidates on the Democratic side,
Okay.
outside of AOC. We haven't gotten to her yet.
Right.
She's a little bit older. She's a little bit more established. She's been in politics for a while. So I don't really know a lot about her, but her name's always being floated around.
Okay. Okay. We'll pin that one and keep an eye out.
And the next person is Josh Shapiro.
Okay.
So Josh is the governor of Pennsylvania.
Right.
Which is a really interesting state every year for in the presidential election.
Well, and Trump keeps threatening to send ICE to Philadelphia, so maybe Josh will get his chance to be on the media stage.
And so Josh is also Jewish.
Okay.
And I think that's an interesting fact.
Okay.
Josh was also the second contender for the vice president she'll pick when Kamala picked Tim Walz.
All right.
So it was between the two of them, Tim Walz and Josh Shapiro. And I hate to say this, but I think it was to his benefit that he was not picked.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have the baggage of losing a big national opportunity like that.
And as we mentioned in previous episodes, Tim Walz has decided to take a step away from politics when his governorship is over.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
you're probably right about that.
And I think Josh Shapiro is really cute too. The next person on our list is AOC.
AOC.
We have to include AOC because that's all that everybody talks about.
I actually saw something on social media today that basically said, and I don't know how real this is, and we talked about your opinion of it, and you can definitely chime in, but I saw a Kamala Harris AOC president VP being the strongest team for the Democratic support for that election, for the upcoming election. What do you think about that?
I disagree.
Okay.
I think that anytime you throw AOC, I think the thing that is so appealing about AOC is that she has the young vote locked in. There's probably nobody that has a stronger voice in the young to energize people to go to vote.
Yeah.
Some of this is going to be energized to vote against her.
Yeah.
They're going to energize, I think, because she is a hot topic. Like people love or hate her.
She has a lot of energy. She has the young vote. I think that's going to work against her. I don't think she has enough experience.
I agree that I want to see her, and she's actually said that she's not running. So she has put it out there that she's not running. I think probably not even this election, but maybe the next election she's the vice president.
Yeah.
Because she just turned 35.
Yeah.
She just became legal age to run. Yeah. So I do think she needs a little bit more time.
Yep.
I actually don't think that
she needs a little season.
I don't think personally she needs more time. I think just in the eyes of the country, she needs, because I think she's ready to do it now.
Exactly.
But
and that's fine. I mean, she's being vocal. It was her and Bernie Sanders in the very beginning of last year that were going around and getting everybody riled up against Trump. And I love them for that. I love AOC. I love her background, where she came from, how she presents herself. And she's clearly very well spoken in front of the media. But she will not have my favor if that were the case until she has more experience.
The other thing that I'm sure is weighing into her decision is the money. So she doesn't come from money. We were talking about JB Pritzker having fuck around money. She has to worry about it.
Yeah.
She needs her donors, and she is famously said that she's not taking corporate money.
Right.
She's not taking big PAC money.
Right.
So I think that's why she's so popular.
In this system,
but
that's an obstacle.
If she runs, you're going to see my prediction is if you see her run, it's going to be a stripped down campaign.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different kind of campaign than we've ever seen,
right.
which I think fits her.
Right.
And would be amazing. We're already seeing a lot of these smaller elections. Mm-hmm. The money is not winning.
It's not the factor.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, 10 years ago, it was all before Trump. Yeah. It was all about whoever had the most money had the best campaign. And that is not the case anymore. So the last person is who you wanted to add. So I'll let you bring him up.
Mark Kelly. I've been hearing Mark Kelly's name a lot more, and I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that he stood up to Hegseth. He was part of the group of senators that did the video that basically reminded military personnel to remember their oath to the Constitution and to not follow illegal orders. And recently, the DOJ tried to indict them. And in a world where you can indict a sandwich is actually a ham known sandwich, saying.
Yeah. Indict a ham sandwich.
Yeah. They were on the indictment because they knew how far-fetched that idea was. So Mark Kelly has been very vocal about his military. He's retired military. He is his wife. He was an astronaut. His wife Gabby was shot, and he retired. And she was shot in the head. Mm-hmm. And he retired from NASA and got into local politics. Now Arizona is also a swing state, so he's got he's got that behind him. I think that with his military background and his knowledge of the system institution as it exists and his willingness to stand up to this administration, I think it makes a pretty good recipe for a possible strong candidate.
I disagree.
Okay. That's why we're doing this.
I think that he would be on paper, mm-hmm. and as the president, I think he'd be great. Mm-hmm. I don't think he'll get there. I don't. When you say a good candidate, I don't think he's going to be a good candidate.
Okay.
Because he's unexciting, and I hate to say that that's what's needed, but you need
probably what we need.
Well, I'm not saying I want drama.
Star for the last 10 years.
But you need to be able to inspire people.
He needs to be a little more charismatic.
Yeah, and I do like that he had the fight. I mean, the video, he wasn't the most interesting person in the video, but he did the video, and then ever since he's been a lot more vocal about the fight because they've been trying to indict him and all that kind of stuff. So I do kind of appreciate that. And if he does want to run for president, I think if he uses that as his springboard and really starts like going in, leaning into the fight that he needs to have, because I've heard this on some other podcasts. I think whatever that candidate is, the first one to say they're going to rip down the ballroom.
Right.
Tear down the ballroom is your thing to run on. And if he says that, he's the first one to say that, then he's going to have my vote. But I just don't think that I think on paper, I think that he would be an amazing president. Don't see him getting there, unfortunately. Okay. And I don't want to lose again. Yeah. Our country cannot. Like, I hate to say it, but I mean, to me, it's still.
I'm sorry, JD Vance. You could run any of these candidates against JD Vance,
and
they're going to win. Mark Kelly would win against JD the Couch Vance.
Certainly hope so.
The Couch Fucker.
And that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
They need to run. He had that in Hillbilly Elegy that he fucked a couch.
Yes.
Put that in your campaign.
Yes.
They will do it to you.
Yes.
Do not run on your morals. Don't run on your high and mighty horse. No, get in the dirt with them. Get dirty.
In the dirt. Yep. Like Gavin.
Like Gavin. I go back to, I mean, it's rough. I don't know who on this list has better fight and has what I'm looking for other than Gavin Newsom.
Buttigieg.
I agree with
Mark
you.
Kelly and Pete Buttigieg would be an
That would be
ideal team.
that would be a good.
That would be a good ticket.
I think a good balance to Mark Kelly would be AOC. And I know it's too soon for AOC, but because she's so progressive and so extreme, having somebody that's the polar opposite of that, I think they could run a really dynamic campaign if they allowed each other. Because I think she could learn some stuff from him. Because to your point, she needs some of that cred, some of the administrative side of her world, and he needs some of what she can offer. He needs to be able to inspire people, and I don't want to see Mark Kelly doing a TikTok. No, thank you. But I definitely think like AOC could get
TikTok, letting you know.
I know, but just like a real, like I don't want to. I mean, Chuck Schumer when they looking for the Republicans was the worst thing that they ever did. Oh my gosh! But I feel like we had a good list. I think this is a really good spot to like kind of like end it. And we hope that we are inspiring a conversation. We had some fun with this one. These are not the full list. I'm sure there's other. I'm sure all of you listening are looking at your own feeds and you're getting different people. We want to hear who that is. We want this to be a more inclusive party, a more inclusive conversation. I would succeed and not go with Newsom as the candidate if you give me a viable candidate that could run again. Like but I'm going to support.
The conversation is what we're trying to do here. We're starting to think about this because the midterm elections are 7 months away. Right? 9 months away.
And then the primaries start after that.
And then the primaries will start soon after that.
So
and then before you know it,
it's going to be right upon us.
It's time to vote.
Yeah. So it's time to start having these conversations. It's time to start thinking, and it's time to vote. So with that, we want to say thank you. Please like, subscribe, and have some conversations.
Tell us who you think would be a great candidate.
Yep.
We want to hear from you.
Thank you.
Bye.